Hey everyone, Sean Taggy here, coming at you down in Memphis, Tennessee. Another frequently asked question we get quite often is, what are closing costs? How much are they going to be? What are all these fees associated with when I buy a house from you guys and that I'm going to have to make? So instead of just kind of like lengthily going through all, I'm actually going to, I pulled up here a closing of a property we did recently. We sold it to another turnkey investor, a happy investor in California. He bought a rental property from us for $171,000, $171,900 from us precisely. And I'm going to show you kind of all the fees that were associated with closing. And I mean, just understand, I mean, this is a big investment. There's lots of other, a title company, a lender, there's a notary involved, there's documents being shipped back and forth, there's recording fees on the county and state records that need to happen. So a lot of people and companies doing all this stuff on the back end to make sure you're buying a property that is safe, that you're getting a loan on it, that the title's clear, that it's being recorded properly, everything's being done legally, morally, and ethically from this large transaction, right? A really large, multiple thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollar transactions. So there are fees that obviously need to go along with that for all the people that are backing you up and making sure it happens. So I'm just going to read over this closing statement to kind of just help you understand kind of some of the fees. So there's loan charges that are charged by the bank. So what they want is prepaid interest. Now that's kind of already like worked into the numbers, but let's say you close, let's say your interest on the property is, whatever, it's $500 a month, and you close on the 15th of the month. Well, they want that prepaid interest, so probably $250 prepaid at closing. And so they kind of just prorate that based on what day and then divide it by the monthly or per diem, how much it costs per day, and put that on there. Then there's a processing fee. For this particular property is $550. That was done by the lender. That's probably to help all their staff and administrative people to make sure all the documents are being done right. When you sign that big packet of paper this thick, those are all written up by people and assistants and staffing that's covering that. Then there's an underwriting fee. And that was $995. So an underwriting fee is basically the lender checking you out, right? When you submit your W-2, your taxes from the previous 2 years, your bank accounts, all these other things to the lender, that's them just making sure you're equipped to pay that loan, and also that the lender, the person like giving the money, that they're secure, that you're a safe person to lend to, and right, they just want to make sure everything's going well. So that's that fee. So then there's some other loan charges. There's a credit report fee, right? So when they pull your credit to check your credit score, yet again, making sure you're a good borrower, someone that is worthy to lend to, that was $19. Then a flood certificate, right? So as a lender, it'd be unreasonable and kind of crazy of me to not check that, hey, is this property on a flood zone? So they paid $8.50, and that is paid by you as the buyer to just check to make sure it's not in a flood zone. So if something happens, you're good. And then if it is in a flood zone, they're probably going to want flood insurance. And this particular property wasn't there, so they don't require flood insurance, which saves you a lot of money. So it's kind of a protection to you as well. Help you do your due diligence on the property. Then a tax service charge as well. So that was $64. Okay, so then now that was from, kind of the loan, the lender. Now there's title charges and escrow charges and settlement charges, okay? So title, there's the lender's title policy. That is kind of based on, the lender requires you, I have another video on this, the lender requires you to get insurance to back their loan amount, to make sure all the liens and the seller is rightfully able to sell you the property and all of that. And so this particular property, that was $975, basically just ensuring that all the chain of title is clear for you to buy it. Then there's also owner's title insurance, and this was $50, okay? So that's ensuring you that the chain of title is clear, that you're actually able to buy this property and the seller is actually able to sell it to you legally and everything like that. Then, so there's a Fedex Label Fee. So if you're out of state purchasing this property in Memphis, right, you have to ship those documents over back to the closing office here in Tennessee. So instead of flying over here and signing everything in the office here in Memphis, right, in the closing office. You can sign them virtually, sorry, not virtually, in another place, but you just ship all the documents back because they need the wet signatures on there. So then with that, they had a mobile notary, and that was $175, just a notary to go straight to this person's house. It was a very busy professional. They didn't want to have to spend an hour driving in traffic to go to their bank to get it notarized or FedEx or whatever. They had a mobile notary come over for $175, have all those documents printed out, know where to sign everything, and notarize it for them. Okay, so settlement and attorney fees. So the closing office, right, the lawyer and all of their legal representatives and administrative staff, they're checking all this title search for you, so that's what that charge is about, and that was $572. Pretty standard for any real estate transaction. And all these fees, we try our best to find the most, number one, best attorneys and lenders, right, our preferred lenders and attorneys, and also they also know they're kind of giving our clients a bulk discount, you know, and everything like that. So then title, there's a closing protection letter fee. That was $50. All right, so now whenever you sell a property, it has to be recorded in whatever county in that state. The county is in charge of tracking who the new owner and who the previous seller was of the property. So with the government recording fees and transfer taxes, our lovely government, you know, they have staff, they need people to track all this and make sure it's readily available when a new house is sold. They charge fees for this. So there's a recording fee to Shelby County, that's where we're at in Memphis, Tennessee, $98. There's a tax stamp, so this is usually just like a % of the sell price, and it's a Shelby County Register tax stamp, $636.03. And then there's a tax stamp for the state, right? So it needs to be recorded on the county and the state. For the state, it was $155.85. Then there's some miscellaneous closing costs, a home inspection fee. So the buyer got a home inspection, make sure all of our repairs were done, and that was just charged on there because the home inspector wasn't paid yet. So $285 for that home inspection. Pest inspection, so a termite inspection, which most lenders require termite inspection as well. So that was $75 just to make sure there's no wood destroying termites in there. And then a homeowner's insurance premium, and that was $693.10. So anyways, I haven't added that up in my head. I wish I could have, but anyways, we'll maybe have a total over here to kind of show you broken down in all of those subjects. There's, you know, basically 4 or 5 categories here. So there's the loan charges, the lender having charges for you. There's the title charges from the title company. There's government charges, and then miscellaneous charges. So these are all defined as your closing costs to purchase that property, okay? And they can vary state by state, transaction per transaction, depending on how big the loan amount was or how big the purchase price was. Some of them are rated off just based a percentage of that. And also if you're getting a loan or not. If you're not getting a loan on the property, you actually don't have all those charges associated with the lender's fee. So that can actually save you quite a bit. But obviously I'm a pro using leverage to invest in real estate, all those advantages there. But anyways, that's something that is something for you to consider as well. So hopefully this helps you understand a little bit more about the inner workings of real estate, all the fun that goes on in it, the closing costs, all the fun fees that are charged with it. But believe me guys, it is worth paying all these fees. It is, in the grand scheme of things, a minimal amount considering this property is going to cash flow. It's appreciating, you're paying down that mortgage principal over time. It is something though to consider that, yet again, I would think, you got to think, I'm paying all these one-time upfront fees. You know, it does take 12 months or 2 years, whatever, probably a few months to kind of break even on that. So you need to think, I'm going to own this property for more than 3 months, right? I got to own it for years to come, because the longer you've owned that, those fees reduce down per year on their pro rate of how much you're paying per year or month on that, if that makes sense to you. So definitely be thinking about that when you're doing real estate. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you've watched up until now, like and subscribe our YouTube channel, like this video. Let me know your thoughts on here. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a good one.